All right, let's jump right into this. We're going to unpack a really interesting argument about India's entire tech scene and how it's approaching the AI revolution. The whole idea here is that in this new world, that instinct to play it safe, well, it might just be the biggest risk you can take.
This quote, this really says it all, doesn't it? It's an idea that runs deep and it shapes everything. How founders build their companies, how investors place their bets. And as you're about to see, this preference for a predictable outcome has literally defined the Indian tech ecosystem for years.
And that's the big question we're digging into. I mean, when you have a technological shift this massive, does the old playbook even work anymore? Or does that search for certainty actually become the thing that holds you back?
To really get what's happening now, we've got to rewind a bit. This love for certainty didn't just appear out of thin air. It was actually the engine behind one of India's greatest tech success stories, SaaS, or Software as a Service.
And wow, this really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the crazy world of B2C marketplaces, burning through cash, chasing scale at all costs, and losing money for years. Then you have SaaS. It's capital efficient, it's focused on revenue, and it gives you a super clear, predictable path to making money. You can see why this became the go-to model, right? It just felt safe. So here's the key takeaway. SaaS wasn't just a business model in India, it was a cultural fit. It lined up perfectly with how founders and investors thought about risk. It was a formula. And for a long time, that formula worked like a charm. And here's where the story takes a turn. By around 2021, that SaaS gold rush, it started to slow down. A lot of companies were just hitting a wall, a performance plateau. All of a sudden, that predictable path had a ceiling. And it made everyone ask a really tough question. What's the next thing that truly scales? Which brings us right up to today, to the AI boom. The argument we're exploring is that all the hype around vertical AI, specialized AI tools for specific industries, it looks an awful lot like the SaaS boom all over again. It's the same playbook, just with a new buzzword. It really feels like we're watching history repeat itself. I mean, take a look at this. Does this sound familiar at all? You pick a niche, leverage what you know, build a tool for it, whether it's for invoicing or recruiting, get some early customers, show some revenue, and go raise a bunch of money. It's the SaaS model, just with a fresh coat of AI paint. It feels safe, it feels predictable, but is it actually the right move this time? Okay, and this right here, this is probably the single most important point in this whole discussion. The big assumption is that you can sell an AI solution the same way you sold SaaS software, but that's just wrong. Why? Because the customer's journey, the way a big company actually adopts this technology, is completely different. Let's walk through this journey because it is absolutely critical. It all starts with companies trying to build their own little DIY tools, which almost always fail to scale. Then comes step 2. They start piloting these exciting vertical AI tools. And this is where the startups get their first customers and raise funding. It looks like success. But then reality hits. The enterprise realizes that for their most important core systems, they need total control, they need governance, they need security. They figure out these one-off tools are just too risky and they pull back, which leads inevitably to the final stage, the demand for a central platform that can manage everything. All those cool vertical AI tools, they just become features, not the main event. So if vertical AI is just a pit stop, where's the real journey headed? Well, this brings us to what you could call a first principle for building something that lasts in technology. It's not about having the best single product, it's about becoming the platform that everyone else builds on. So what is a platform really? It's not just a tool, it's an entire ecosystem. Think about it. Microsoft Teams didn't beat Slack because it was a better chat app. It won because Microsoft plugged it into their massive Office platform, instantly making it the default, easy choice for hundreds of millions of people. That is the power of a platform. So you'd think everyone would be rushing to build platforms, right? Well, not exactly. In the Indian ecosystem, there's this deep hesitation, and it usually boils down to 3 big, persistent fears that hold founders back. Let's take them on one by one. Fear number 1, and this one's a biggie, it's this deep-seated, often unspoken belief, almost a cultural cringe, that the truly foundational, world-class platforms can only come out of the US. But when you really stop and think about it, the logic just makes no sense. The irony is insane. A founder in Bengaluru is seen as a risk, but if that same exact person moves to Silicon Valley, they're suddenly a visionary genius. Come on, it's a total myth. Talent and great ideas have nothing to do with your zip code. Okay, fear number 2. This one's a bit more practical. It's the question every founder gets grilled on in a pitch meeting. This is great, but where's your distribution? How are you possibly going to create a network effect from scratch? You should just piggyback on someone else's platform.
And the answer to this is so powerful, but it gets overlooked all the time. It's community. Just look at the giants of business software: Slack, Salesforce, HubSpot. Every single one of them built their first wave of momentum and those powerful network effects through a passionate community of early adopters and diehard fans. It's the original, and it's still the best distribution channel there is.
And that brings us to fear number 3, the big one, the David versus Goliath story. It's that nagging fear that no matter how good your idea is, some huge, well-funded company from the US is just going to swoop in, copy you, and crush you with their giant pile of cash. But to answer that, we've got to turn to this classic quote from the legendary Clayton Christensen. The key insight isn't about money, it's about freedom. See, incumbents are actually trapped by their own success. They have to keep serving their best customers from today, which makes it almost impossible for them to chase the new disruptive markets of tomorrow. So let's just break that down. First, the big guys lack the freedom to truly innovate. Second, we've seen it time and time again. Focused, relentless execution will always beat a pile of cash. And third, let's not forget India's massive structural cost advantage. You can build a world-class team of 50 people in India for less than the cost of a single senior engineer in the US. The playing field is a lot more level than most people think.
All right, so we've busted the myths. Now let's talk about the real opportunity here. This is it. This is India's AI platform moment. A massive chance to stop playing the safe game and start building the foundational systems that will power the future.
So what does a true AI platform actually do for a big company? It's not just another tool. It gives them actual superpowers. You can build things incredibly fast. You can orchestrate all the messy, old systems you already have. You can replace dozens of little single-purpose apps. And maybe most important of all, you get to own the governance and control everything in your own secure environment. That is the ultimate sales pitch. And really, when you look back at tech history, this isn't a new idea. From the first operating systems to the cloud to the internet itself, the companies that end up defining an entire era are always the ones who are brave enough to take the risk and build the platform, not just another app to run on it. And so that's where we land, with one final critical question. The AI era is here, right now. The talent is in India. The opportunity is absolutely massive. The only thing left to decide is the willingness to move past that comfort of certainty and take the platform risk. The future is going to be defined by those who do.